In this video I'm going to be ranking all the Cold War Zombies perks from worst to best. Now there are no actual bad perks in Cold War Zombies, as the 10 perks we got are actually a pretty decent set, so this is going to be a very opinion based and personal experience based video, so take everything I say with a pinch of salt. Also, price will not be a factor as the perks increase in price by 500 points each time you buy a perk. So your first perk is 2500, the second one is 3000, third one is 3500, and so on in that fashion. At number 10 we have Tombstone Soda. Tombstone is the outlier perk. It has some semi-decent abilities, but none that are ever really taken advantage of in an average game of zombies. It's a combination of the OG Tombstone perk with a dash of Who's Who from Black Ops 2, so it was always destined to not really be as good of a perk as the rest. Your Shadow Form can regenerate health while trying to revive yourself using the old Who's Who ability, while keeping your loadout and not defaulting to a basic 1911 pistol. You can bleed out for longer, drop your Tombstone stash when you die so you can collect it on respawn. Of course, this only works in multiplayer games. The tier 4 ability lets you respawn near the end of the current round instead of the start of the next, and the tier 5 upgrade prevents perk decay. Now this is half true. It prevents you from losing the first 3 perks you bought, not including Tombstone, as you will always lose Tombstone when you down with it. Tombstone with no upgrades is just Who's Who, but most players will have an upgrade, and in my opinion it is the worst perk in Cold War Zombies. From here on out, none of these perks are outright bad, they just aren't as good as the next, and just keep that in mind. At number 9 we have Elemental Pop. It is a good perk, no questions asked, but in terms of what comes ahead of it, it's not as good as some of the others. Elemental Pop is Electric Cherry, rolled in with some random elemental upgrades for your ammo and equipment. Your AAT cooldown is reduced by 20%, it applies the random AAT at that current level it's been upgraded to, so what that means is if it applies Brain Rot, and you only have the first 3 tiers of Brain Rot, you won't get the tier 4 and 5 effects, you'll only get the first 3. You also increase elemental weakness damage to enemies by 50%, and tier 5 gives you the Electric Cherry reload ability, which creates an electric burst around you, stunning enemies when you reload. The emptier the weapon, the larger the burst. This perk can be a lifesaver, or can be kind of useless depending on what you want to do. For high rounds, it's amazing, but for camo challenges, it's terrible. At number 8, we have PhD Slider. This was the last perk we had added into the map Forsaken, and it was a lot of fun to use. You can slide into zombies and cause an explosion similar to the Black Ops 4 perk of the same name, and it only gets better when upgraded. When sliding, you are immune to environmental damage like fire and the phase. You can increase slide duration, become immune to self-inflicted splash damage, slide way faster than normal, and falling from a height creates the PhD explosion. So from the higher you fall from, the larger the explosion. Up to a point, it's not really that much. Slider is mostly used for map traversal and explosion immunity, but rarely for the PhD effects of sliding into enemies and falling from a height. However, combining this with a perk that's further up this list is a recipe for massive explosions, massive being a slight oversell on my part. At number 7, we have Mule Kick, which was added in Mauer der Toten and is an excellent perk. This beauty combines the OG Mule Kick with the Black Ops 4 version and Vulture Aid from Black Ops 2, a perk that has never been fully remade in the newer Treyarch COD games. Mule Kick by default allows you to carry a third weapon. When upgraded, you can get extra crafted equipment if the equipment isn't limited to 1. All enemies have a quote-unquote small chance to drop ammo. It says small, it occurs a whole lot more than just a little bit. Also, the ammo drop says 40 rounds. They can have well over 100 sometimes, completely refilling your reserve. You have 25% of keeping non-retrievable equipment when used. So C4s, frags, Semtexes, etc. You have a 25% chance of keeping those when you use them. And finally, when rebought, if you down with it, you get your third weapon back. That was always an issue that people had with OG Mule Kick, and it was resolved in Black Ops 4, and they retained it here. Mule Kick is an excellent perk choice and should be one of the go-to perks mid-game. At number 6, we have Quick Revive. Quick Revive is a perk that has had some changes since its OG version, no longer reviving you since Black Ops 4, but regenerating your health twice as fast. It retains its Quick Revive on ally effect, which as a solo player doesn't ever really come into the equation. When upgraded, you crawl 100% faster when downed, your health starts regenning 50% faster, you can almost instantly regen full health, which in this game is a godsend. When reviving an ally, you regen full health instantly for yourself. You also move faster for about 5 seconds, as well as your teammate that you revive. And if you kill an enemy while down, you instantly get back up. Quick Revive is replaced by craftable self-revives, but in a pinch, if you want to save that self-revive if you go down at an early round, you can have either this, or you can use Tombstone to save yourself instead. Cracking our top 5, at number 5 we have Stamina Up. The OG, which has just been buffed into oblivion since its original version and is an easy inclusion in top 5. Honestly, these 5 perks could be interchanged, but these are just based on my personal use and experience. When upgraded, Stamina Up will increase your back pedal speed, making you immune to fall damage, which when paired with PhD is just awesome. You walk faster while ADSing, can use equipment while sprinting, and removes your sprint fall off, which in short terms means you can sprint forever. Stamina Up is a perk that went from strength to strength for years and is now a strong perk that makes your zombie training experience much easier and more enjoyable and is a must buy. At number 4, we have Speed Cola. Speed Cola is once again a perk that has gone from strength to strength throughout every iteration of Call of Duty. Base Speed Cola increases your reload bonus to 15%, so you reload slightly faster. When upgraded, allows you to swap weapons faster, recharges your field upgrade 20% faster, increases your reload speed bonus to 30%, repairs barricades faster, makes the mystery box settle faster, and you can fire and reload your weapon while sprinting at full speed. Unfortunately, the box in Cold War is redundant as you can take in whatever weapon you want and rarely ever have to hit the box for anything other than if you just want to hit it for fun. Aside from that, Speed Cola is a must-have perk and should be picked up as soon as possible. At number 3, we have Juggernog, the OG, the GOAT. At base, Juggernog gives you an additional 50 health, putting you up to 200 health. With upgrades, Jug will reduce effect durations by 50%, so being ticked by the Chungus, burned by Hellhounds and the Panzer, or zapped by the Tempests, the effect should only last half as long. You replenish 25% extra armor when picking up armor plates on the ground. At tier 3, you go to 250 health. Then at tier 4, your armor durability is increased by 25%, and if you have armor at tier 5, instead of a zombie hit being lethal at low health, you drop to 1 HP, and your armor is depleted until it's gone, then the final hit is the lethal hit. Juggernog is the all-round save your health perk and is an excellent early round pickup in Cold War Zombies, plus it can be obtained for free, guaranteed on both Team Machine and Firebase Z by doing the respective side Easter egg. At number 2, we have Death Perception. Death Perception was added around the time of Mauer der Toten and immediately went from a garbage perk in Black Ops 4 to an absolute must-have in Cold War Zombies. It retains some of its earlier BO4 effects, but a massive buff to the perk in this game drove it to new heights. Baseline, this perk will allow you to see obscured enemies outlined through walls and smoke. When upgraded, the perk will sweep the minimap more frequently, pinging enemies more often on your minimap, will give on-screen indicators showing the direction that zombies are coming from, and at tier 3, this perk will give you 20% more looted salvage both green and blue. So what that means is, instead of 50 green salvage per pickup, you'll get 60, and instead of 10 blue salvage, you'll get 12. This is a huge thing. Like this, you can't oversell this. This is very important for Cold War for making your weapon into a higher rarity. This makes the grind for blue salvage so much easier and instantly pushes this perk into top tier status. At tier 4, you gain 25% extra armor penetration damage, and at tier 5, chests, resources, and items are all outlined through walls. This perk is so useful on Outbreak for looting and finding salvage that it may be kinda broken. Death Perception is easily a top 3 perk. It's top tier in this iteration of zombies. However, in every single instance, every single perk in this list is eclipsed by the number 1 pick. My number 1 pick in Cold War Zombies and my number 1 perk is easily Deadshot Daiquiri. This perk has seen the biggest improvement from its OG version and has soared past all other perks in this game to become the number 1 perk in Cold War. Baseline Deadshot has its original effects of making you ADS directly to the critical zone on an enemy, so the head or the arm or wherever, while also removing scope sway. When upgraded, Deadshot will deal 100% extra crit damage when the enemy is at full health, will deal 50% extra damage against armor piercing, tighten up the hipfire spread, increase crit bonus damage to 10%, and at tier 5 will deal an extra 2% damage to an enemy for each consecutive hit up to a maximum of 20% extra damage. So if you're laying a whole fucking clip into an enemy, every consecutive shot will increase it by 2% up to 20% extra damage in general. This perk gives you insane damage gains when combined with Pack-a-Punch, meaning basically everything including panzers and abominations will tremble at your unearthly firepower. Deadshot Daiquiri is a must-have perk and I recommend it be the first perk you buy in your game. And that is my ranking for the Cold War Zombies perks. Your opinion may differ, and that is okay. We are all entitled to different opinions. I'd love to hear your list in the comments section. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. A like in the video would be very much appreciated to help people find the channel for the first time. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.